Hello, good morning, and welcome back to CatersGraphix. Today, I am happy to welcome our new intakes to the group. Congratulations. So, by next week, we'll be learning some couple new tools in Adobe Illustrator. And if you're not updated to at least 2019 or 2020, you'll be left behind. So, ask for the link. I'll drop it in the description or probably in our group. So, we'll be learning this series of course outline. This is our course outline for the year, okay? We're extending this till next year. So this course outline will be dealing with these tools so that in the future we don't need to start scrambling with them. We go more deep into some logo design mysteries, okay? So here is the selection tool. We're going to deal on the pen and curvature tool, type and text tool, line segment tool, rectangular, another related tool, erase tool, width tool, free transform and puppet warp tool. We're going to learn the shape builder tool, mesh tool, gradient tool, eyedropper tool, artboard tool, hand tool, zoom tool, fill, and the stroke tool. And we'll be extending that from Wednesday with Photoshop, the move to rectangular, marquee tool, and other tools related to that till Saturday or so. So in the upper week, we're going to learn some basic settings in Illustrator and Photoshop, and the upper week you're going to learn the basic text, color, and shape creation tools. So with that being understood, we are going to get more updates in the future, and that's going to make a work more better and easier for future intakes, okay? So but today we are not going to learn any tool at all. We're going to learn how to design this kind of logo that is displaying right in front of your screen now. These two logos, this first one and this other one, okay? We're going to learn how to use text to manipulate stuffs. I received countless questions about that on my private chat, and also someone I think it's a day whatever the chat on YouTube channel, he keep consistently talking about that he need to learn how to use text to manipulate and convert them into becoming a logo. I think I've covered that in a previous tutorial in what they call it, YouTube. So you can still search there, but today we're going to do something totally different. I'm going to use a particular logo I created. I will redesign it and show you how it goes. Very simple. So those two logos showing in the screen now, and for the course outline, if you have not learned some, if you have the urge to learn some couple tools before we get to next week, you can follow the screen display, the video in the description. You can just follow it up, go to YouTube and sort it out. I'll drop the thumbnail on the screen so you can follow that up and watch the video before we get to next week, so you don't look like someone who is coming from an island. So let's just jump right into it. So we'll create this particular logo. Yes, this particular logo UCE on the Cord Electrics. This is what I created for a company last 3 weeks or so. So I'm going to redesign it and show you how it works, okay? So for this, we are going to use a logo, a font called Insaniborg, I think Insaniborg. So UCE, we're going to type out the text. This is how you create logos. You don't just come in and start making logos. You try with different fonts, okay? When you try with this font, you can hold the Alt key while dragging out. You can try another font and so on and so forth, okay? You can try another font and see which works. If this is okay for you, you can still drag it out and try another font and so on and so forth, okay? This is how I end up coming up with the best font for a logo. And every kind of business have a font that is very well related to them. You don't use a stylish logo type for a law firm design. So we're gonna use Insaniborg for this because we want a rounded edges and to make some curves that will look very aligning with the rounded edges. So we use Insaniborg. Insaniborg is right here. If you don't have it, I'll provide it for you. So we are using Insaniborg for the C and E, but we are not using the Insaniborg for the U because it won't work perfectly for what we want, or it might work for what we want but we don't like the shape. So what we are going to do here is to duplicate this particular font. So we duplicate it, then we are going to erase the U in the first one and we erase the CE in the second one. So when we have this now, it means we are going to separately manipulate this one and also manipulate this one independently. But if you don't want to do that, what you're going to do is to outline the shapes in the text. Someone asked about that too. If you outline the shape, you can now manipulate one after the other. How to outline is just simple. So what you're gonna do is hold the Control and Alt key, then you click O on your keyboard. Okay, Control and Alt key, click O. No, not Control and Alt key, Control and Shift key. Sorry about that. Then you click O. You can outline. Control and Shift key. Control and Shift key O. You have outline. So what it means by outlining is you can easily rearrange or manipulate this particular logo. Now you see this particular text can now be manipulated to whatever shape you want. That's the meaning of outline. So you hold the Control and Shift key and also you click O. So when you have this text selected, which means you can separate this or manipulate this the way you want while doing the same to the others. Okay, so now we use the selection tool to expand it. We need this text to be a little bit expanded in length and also in width. Okay, so we expand this in length, yes, to get this curved edge, and we also expand it in width. So we have what we are looking for. And what next we're gonna do here is to practically start creating stuffs. Okay, we have to adjust this width to come in line with these ones. So what you're gonna do, you use the direct selection tool, select on the top side, then you can adjust them. Now select on the top side, then now you can adjust them without affecting the side on the lower part of this logo. Okay, so you don't affect this part, but you just affect only this part. So next we are going to do is to select only this one and adjust it up. Okay, this is not the best font you can use, but I'm using this just for the tutorial. I created that particular one myself. I didn't just use a font, but I'm just trying to show you how to do font with it. I can also show you how to do this in the later part of this, but with just for this tutorial, let's just learn how to do this with the font. Okay, with the font that you have available. So you have to adjust these to match with these other lines. So to get that done, you can either select this part to make sure you align vertically, okay, horizontally, I mean, to the other part. So we make sure this aligns to this part, and once we got that, we move on to the next. So we can still adjust this a little bit lower because we don't need it to be too high. Okay, very good. So now we have it. What next we have to create is our thunder or striking or lightning sign. Okay, so we use our pen tool to draw now. Very simple drawing. So what we're gonna draw is just a shape that strikes from this part to this part to this part. You can hold your Shift key so you get a very straight line there. So this part, and we stroke till we get to this part, and we come down a little bit to this part, and we get to this part, and we are there. You can now leave your Shift tool and join it. So this is basically what we need, but we're going to convert this color, so when we place it here, it's not going to align with the same color we have here. So what we're gonna do is to select this and change the color to something not too white but not dark. Okay, so I like this, I'm okay with this, and I'm impressed with it. So let's remove these two and totally work on this. So let's work on this now. So now we have this. What we need to play around is the shapes, and we have to erase some parts of this logo so we can get exactly the kind of shape we are looking for. So we have to extend this a little bit, and yeah, very good. So now what we are going to do is to make sure we have some curved edges. Okay, bring this closely and we have to work on our edges. So we select this, we select this. We want everything to be smooth as it is in the formal icon. So we select those anchor points and we drag them a little. So we got this now. So what next we're gonna do is to make sure this part aligns with this part as though they are working together. So this is what we have here. And if you just select this part and stroke it, you see what we are going to get there. It's very simple, but that's not what we are looking for. We're looking for something we're looking for something that is more closer to this, not just that. Okay, so what we are going to do is to select this particular angle and we draw it down a little. So when we have that, we can now click on this and curve it. We are going to have what you see. How we created that is very simple. So with that being understood, if you want the shape to align properly to what you want, you just have to reduce the edges from the order. You see, if you swipe it down, it's going to work for you. So the next thing we're going to do here is to erase this particular dark part. We don't really need it. Okay, we don't need it. And to create another angle here that is going to work very fine, aligning with this other part here. Okay, so what we need is the eraser tool. We click on the eraser tool and we can use it to erase this particular part. Okay, so you see we don't have it anymore. So what we are going to create again is just like a box shape around this angle. So that box shape is going to work in line with this, and also look as if it's a stroke with this thunder or lightning sign. So we create the box, circle down, and make sure it aligns with this other part. Okay, I think I'm okay with this. So what we're going to do with this box circle is we're going to merge it together with this. So when we select the box circle, we select this also, and we go to this particular tool. Where is it? This tool here is called the Pathfinder. If you can't find the Pathfinder, go to your window and you scroll down, you can see the Pathfinder over here. So when you get to Pathfinder, I click on this unite. So when you unite it, you are totally telling it become the same with this. So you see, when we unite it, we lost our thunder. Not because we lost it, because this particular icon we created was created after this thunder, and when we united the both of them, it becomes above this. So what you're going to do is simply right click on your icon and click on arrange, then bring to the front. Very simple. So now we have that. What next we're going to create here? We want to make this icon come a little bit closer to this part. Okay, so what we're going to use to do that, we can select we can use the curvature tool to do that. Just select on it and point it at this particular edge. So what you notice here is this: when we point it at this particular edge, we have some empty space or some negative space over here. So what you're gonna do with that is to also fill it with another other stuff. So you just have to draw stuff and this point and draw until we get that. We have to merge it with this particular one, not the thunder again. So we merge it with it. See the color change to white. We're gonna move it back to become black. Okay, so we have what we want. So next thing we're gonna do, again like I told you before, we bring this to the front. So transform or arrange, we bring to the front. So we see we got exactly what we are looking for, or closer to what we are looking for, even if it's not perfectly what we're looking for, but we have something again that is missing. This particular box shape, we need to make it look nicely like the other part, just the only the anchor points here. Okay, so select the two anchor points, you now revolve them a little. So we got the smooth edge working at this, also working at this. So now we can use our what they call it, we can use our color gradients tool to work on this. So now, before using the color gradients, we have to understand something. We want to make a curve here that look nicely, that the color gradient is going to overlap and going to make this work as if there's a hole in this U with the other U we will be creating outside here. But before we do that, let's grade this first. So we apply the color gradient. I taught you how to do the color gradient. Go and watch the 3 parts of the gradient tool I created on YouTube if you don't know how to do that. Okay, So we created the gradient tool. Now we use this to, like I taught you in the other tutorial, use this to create the angles we want this gradient to work perfectly with. Okay, so we have this angle created. What next we want to create is but I don't actually like this curve here. This curve, I want it to be pulled a little more lower, something like this. No, I think we can go back with that. I don't just like the feature. So we are going to create that curve. Now how are we going to create the curve? You can use the pen tool to stroke your lines. Okay, you can use the pen tool to stroke your lines, you know, do stuff like this, and select this, and also use your shape builder tool to remove. By holding the alt key, you see the minus button in the mouse. If you leave it, you see the plus button. A minus button, you click, you see we have removed that. So you can click and click on this, then select this tool to curve it to whatever shape you want it to be, while trying to raise this to this shape and also raise this to this shape or whatever. This is one way to do this, but the other way I'm going to teach you how to do it is to use the rectangular tool. Okay, the rectangular tool, what you're going to do here is just to draw a line, whatever it look like. Okay, it doesn't matter. So you draw a line, hold the shift key and select the both of them. So when you selected, click on the shape builder tool, then hold on the alt key and minus front. Okay, so when we minus front, what you're going to do is come back here to, you select your curvature tool, and you can now curve it to whatever you want. So you can extend this, and you can even leave this as it is, just extend only this part. Let's make something different. So when we extended that, you see what we have here, but I'm not satisfied with what we got here. So we gotta use our gradient tool, because it still used the same global gradient style we used here. So we're gonna change that. We're gonna use something more unique and different. Okay, so if you're satisfied with this, I think I'm satisfied with it. Okay, so we have this particular tool created. So we have exactly what we are looking for. We can make this a little bit darker if you wish to. So we have exactly what we are looking for. We have exactly what we are looking for. So you select all of it, you bring it closely to this, and see how it works. So now we are going to work on this other two. So you still select and pick on the same color we used for this. Now the trick we are going to apply here is we are going to use the C still. This is seeming as if it's going out of the blue. So we're going to use the C still to create a kind of gradient shadow like we did in this one. So what you're going to do is hold the alt key while selecting only the C with the direct selection tool. Remember, I taught you that on the group tutorial. So you hold on it and alt key, you can select this part. Okay, so we have this selected. What you're going to do here is to select the both of them by holding the shift and select on the shape builder to hold your alt key again and remove the parts you don't want. Okay, so with that being done, you see we got exactly what we are looking for, but we want this shadow to come below here as though it is a shape, that a pit or a hole there. Okay, so we want this top side. I think we can make this more whiter, bring it a little bit lower. No, it's too much, too much. Okay, just play around with your gradient tool. You see, you're going to be happy with what you're going to find. So that is it for the second one. So when you look at this logo from afar, you see it looks nicely blended. I'm not going to go more deep into that. You're going to take more of your creativity and work with it. So you can just place your icon. See why this is white? Because it's on a white background. So you select all of it, then you can change the color to any kind of color you think is going to work for you. So this is how we created this logo. This particular logo is very simple to do. You can use any text to make your kind of logo look unique and standard. Just try to place the icons where necessary. Okay, so with that being understood, we are going to move to the next one. The next logo is for a perfume company that I made it last year. So I think I have to bring it into view so we can see what we can do with that. So we're going to delete all this. I'm going to start a new work. So now we're going to create a B inside an O, but making a negative space of the B, creating something unique in the O. I don't know what I'm saying, so just watch how we do that. It's very simple. So what you need first is create a circle. Okay, create a circle. You can fill it with whatever color you want or whatever color best suits you. Okay, so next thing we are going to do is to create the B text. For this we are going to use I think we can still continue with the Insaniboc font. I don't think it works here. It's not gonna work here. It's not gonna work here. So we're gonna select all. We use another tool called the under text type font face called can I remember this name? What's the name? Okay. Prime time is going to work fine, but that's not what I'm looking for. I'm not looking for prime time. What I'm looking for is what's this font I love so much? Made Tommy. I have it here, Made Tommy. Okay, so we're going to use the Made Tommy. So this is going to be capital B. This is going to be capital B. I love these fonts. I love this font so much. If you don't have this font, search for it. You're going to like it. For most projects you work with it, you're going to like it so much. So what we're going to do is to create the B, but the trick we are using here is this. Okay, the trick we are using here is this. We are okay. First we have to remember, you have to hold your Control and Shift key and O to create the outline. But if you don't want to do that with the outline, you can also go to Object and then go to Expand. Then make sure these two are ticked. Then you click on OK. It will still outline it, so you can still start applying gradients and stuffs like that. Okay, so what we are going to do here is two things only is we are making sure that this B matches with the line here. It doesn't overlap like this, that we see the line here, and it doesn't under lap, will I use that word here, that we see the line here too. So we're going to make sure it's in between the line and there is no space between this, so we can notice there is a particular line here. Okay, so when we have that placed rightly perfectly where we want it to be, we can extend it to get to the bottom part of the logo, so to create a very neat and nice look. So when we have there, the second simplest thing we have to do is to make this color white. But why I'm saying you should make it white, because we are on a white background. So when you change this background to become black or whatever color, so let me make it black or whatever color, and I say arrange and I move it to the back, it's good. You're gonna see that white. Okay, so now the idea is this. We are trying to see if this is going to work on any negative space. Creating white on a white background or creating black on a black background is trying to say, is this going to work? Because you can't see this other shape unless we hover. So we're going to try to look, is this going to work? If it's not going to work, what you're going to do is to readjust it the way it's going to work. Okay, so if you're okay with the look, then we can continue with the job. Okay, so you see how it's working now. Because if we remove this shape now, or if we merge it with this circle, we will not be able to rearrange this anymore. So we're gonna try all we can, but I'm gonna show you how to still do that and still be able to rearrange your text in the future tutorial. Okay, so with that being but for now, let's just deal with this. So what you're gonna do again is select the whole tool and select your shape builder tool. Hold the Alt key and now strike on the edges you don't want. So we have exactly what we are looking for. So you see that we created the shape we are looking for. So the next thing we got to do is to create those circles that make it look like a perfume company. Okay, those bubbles that make it look like a perfume company. So what you're gonna do is select a circle and create the first circle. We're gonna make this white because we want it to appear inside this particular shape. Okay, so we bring it to this particular angle here. Okay, now we create another one by holding the Alt key. Create another one. Now we're gonna create another smaller one. So let's zoom closely so we see what we are doing. So create another smaller one, very small. So we place it here. So now we're going to create the negative space of these particular circles. Okay, so we drag one outside, but we're going to make it to become the same color as what we have here. Okay, so we drag another tiny circle, the other tiny circle, we're going to drag it to follow up the suits here, as though it is popping out of this. So we're gonna make the gradient color. We can reduce the size of the two outside. Okay, can reduce the size to make it look a little bit different. Place it there, so we can still create one more and place it above here. So we can just play around with your bubbles to see how it looks. Okay, so we have that nicely placed. So you want to make a more realistic bubble, I would be teaching you that in the future. Just have to draw a line. Okay, now you fill it with white. We are going to stroke it and make it curved at the edge by clicking on this. If you want to make a line curved, click on this. If you don't want it curved here, so this curved and this not curved, get that into your head. So we're going to change the color now to become white. Okay, we're going to make this color to become white. So we have a white color here, but you can't see it clearly, but I can see it because I'm the one creating it. So we're going to curve this angle a little, and we are going to rotate that. Okay, you're going to rotate that, then bring it into this circle, and we are going to curve it a little bit more to match with the angles of the circle. And what next we're going to do, we are going to shift it a little from the edges of the circle. So this is it. So now we can make it more thinner. I think white is okay for now. Okay, so now for this other circle inside here, we are going to drag this into the same circle. Okay, now we are going to change this color to become this gradient. You see what we did there? So we're going to do the same with this, and so on and so forth. So you can still try that in these other smaller circles by dragging them into the circle and making them look smaller. Okay, so you can still apply the same with this one, making them look smaller. Remember, we made this circle smaller, so we're going to adjust this to work perfectly with it. I'm okay with that. So when we zoom out, see what we have. So you see, it looks as if it's a bubble popping out of that, but this is not very sweet as we expected. Because of what? Let me show you why it's not like that. So what we're going to do to make it more realistic, especially this one, is to duplicate this and place it right back where it is, then make it smaller this time, and smaller making it, you are going to place it under here. So we're going to change the gradient shape. You're going to change the gradient style and look inside of it, so it's more different from the other side. So now let's go a little bit away from it. You see, from that you can see what we have there. It looks more realistic now than before. So you can still work on this, make the whole part, the most part darker. Okay, then make the most part of the one inside lighter. So we can do that by dragging from this other angle down here. Very good. So now we have our gradient. So from afar it looks more realistic, and you can just keep playing around with it. Okay, keep playing around with it until you are satisfied with what you have. So this is basically how, and for this, you know, we have to remove these shapes by holding the selecting the shape builder tool and holding the alt key, so we can remove all these particles. So in any part of the logo we place it, we will still have to see that clearly. So that's how we created the Black Fantasy logo. And also you can just type your text here. I used Insane Borg black. It's gonna be in capital letter black, then under it say fantasy. Okay, so you center it with this, then you can expand it with this. You can use the character tool to adjust these two stuffs to come closely to each other. The character tool is over here, but if you can't see it, you can still go to your windows and look for the you can find the character tool in properties. I think in properties it doesn't have a special name. You can find in properties, you see the character tool over here. So when you drag the property over here, you automatically have the character tool beneath here. Okay, so here you can still make the same adjustment as we did here. Okay, so this is how we basically created the Black Fantasy logo. You can change the colors here. It's very simple and straight to the point. So guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial on how we created this with negative spaces and also how we manipulated text to create logos. If you want more of this, comment on our YouTube channel and I will be providing more of the logo relating to this. But by next tomorrow I'll be creating a totally different logo type design. But if I get more comments about this and I get more questions from this, I'm going to make more tutorials that's going to look like this exactly. Okay, with this understood, I know you can create stuffs like this on your own without questions. So make sure to leave a like on this video in YouTube. Make sure to subscribe if you have not done so yet, and also ring the bell to get notified each time we publish a new video, and also share this to your friends. Thanks and enjoy the rest of your day. Remain blessed.